morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and that's me, Larry Steinhouse. Today is Tuesday, April 26th. I want to welcome you to the show, and we are here live on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And Twitter, and Twitter, and Twitter, and Twitter. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Truth Social, TikTok, and other social media by searching Larry Steinhouse. Hey, just remember, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. You can comment live during the show on YouTube and Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And please say hi so I know you're watching. By the way, if you're commenting from a group and it's not the Money Chat Now fan page, your name may not show up on my dashboard, and if you're on Twitter, it will. Please go to the Money Chat Now page and comment there so I can recognize you. All right, Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com, and there you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. Hey, real quick, I want to say hello to Dan online and Mark online and Jose and Jonathan, and my lovely wife, Linda. All right. So today we're going to be discussing, of course, the futures update. We're going to be talking about iPhone sales prediction, Facebook's VR showroom. Should you buy Twitter stock? I have this question asked a lot. Bitcoin in your 401k, the electric Corvette, and Paxlovid. Hey, all right, let's get into it real quick, and let's talk about yesterday. If you listened to the show yesterday, you aren't surprised that the Dow rebounded from a 480-point loss. It actually happened exactly the way I said it would. The Dow was even positive over 100 points in the late afternoon, and it closed up over 200 points. The day was a typical day for investors that sold all their positions last week and were looking for a place to put their money. Look, I'm going to tell you, investors need the action and, of course, the income. They're buying knowing this week has potential to move up, and they want a piece of the action. The big story was Twitter. Yeah, right. Of course it was a big story. For 2 weeks, we waited in anticipation, wondering if Elon Musk would actually buy Twitter and if the board of Twitter would allow it. Well, yesterday it was decided that the offer was good, and the board approved it, and they approved it as a final and best offer. Elon Musk offered $52.40 a share, which is a mere $44 billion. So all of you want-to-be billionaires, stop looking at Ferraris and Maseratis and start looking at companies to buy with your money. As you know, this purchase is all about free speech and not about how much Elon Musk will make in Twitter as an investment. Oh, he will do well, by the way, and if he does what he promises anyway. I wouldn't even be surprised to find Twitter at a higher stock price than Meta in the future if he brings it back public. I certainly can't wait to start using the new Twitter with the new modifications and no censorship. Well, by the way, here's what Elon Musk had to say. Free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated. He continued to say, I also want to make Twitter better than ever by enhancing the product with new features, making the algorithms open source and increase trust, defeating the spam bots, and authenticating all humans. Whew. Twitter has a tremendous potential. I look forward to working with the company and the community of users to unlock it. Wow. This guy, he just literally put the future of social media and the future of no more censorship on the table. This is fantastic. When the offer was accepted, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but the sales stock were halted. Often when some shocking news is being announced, the SEC will halt stock sales because basically, there'll be excess tradings and it may cause the stock to jump or fall too quickly. Well, we will see how it goes. On another note, Digital World Acquisitions Corp., the owner of Truth Social, was down about 11% by the end of the day. It had fallen further than that, but Trump announced that he would not be returning to Twitter. He actually said, Twitter's now free. Will you return? He goes, no, why would I return? I got my own social media. I'm upset with Twitter. They took away my rights. Now, I actually believe that this is a temporary thing for Trump. I think he'll actually return to Twitter, but we'll have to see what will happen. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Moderna stock that was up yesterday. In fact, it led the pack of stocks. This has me worried. Did Pelosi and her devil-worshipping minions just buy some on the news that they'll be forcing vaccines again? Well, we're going to see in a few days, but don't be surprised. On deck this week, of course, are the three biggest tech stocks. We have Google reporting today after the bell. We have Facebook tomorrow, and then Apple on Thursday. All of these need to do well in order for any possibility of the market to come back. And if they fall, watch out. It's going to get really ugly really fast. All right, right now we have the Dow is down 150. We have the S&P is down 16. And we have the NASDAQ down just around 60. All right, let's talk about iPhones and what's going on with iPhones. Hey, real quick, I want to just say hello to a couple of people who've joined us online, saying hi to me online. I want to make sure I say hi back. It looks like we have Jonathan. I don't know if I said hello already. We have Rob. We have Tommy. We have James. And, of course, we've got Charles and Jane and Barbara. Hi, Barbara. Okay. All right, let's talk about iPhone predictions and what's going on. So it seems right before earnings announcements, we always get a slew of analysts trying to predict the results. You know, of course, we have expected revenue and expected profits. That's kind of common. But sometimes we have the analysts guessing of sales on a particular product. Apparently, JP Morgan is trying to predict that the iPhone sales will fall short this year. First of all, you should know that Apple they no longer report the number of iPhone sales. They only report the revenue of the product. And it's probably because they don't want to be held to a number sold. They feel the revenue is all that matters, and frankly, it really is. They can also raise the price of the device to drive up revenue numbers, even if the sales fall short. And they did that a couple of years ago. Well, I always like to make an important point when an announcement like this is coming out just before earnings. Articles like this are designed to lower the stock price. They are manipulative, and they're used by money managers to grab some extra profits. I have also noticed that whenever iPhone sales are predicted to be down, Apple stock rocks. Apple released their earnings report on Thursday after the bell. Not only do I hope it does well, but we need it to do well too. So just keep that in mind also. That's powerful stuff. You're going to have to make sure that Apple does well. Speaking of hardware sales, right, and the other fantasy lands, let's get into the metaverse and VR headsets. I told you that in December, I purchased an Oculus headset so I can go into the metaverse. Well, I got to tell you, my headset is sitting on the floor in the case, charging after I used it for the last time in January. Yeah, it's a really cool device, and it's really interesting to be inside the metaverse, but I got to tell you, I had trouble navigating through some of it, and I found interacting with others kind of weird. I also have to tell you that I got dizzy. I mean, I actually got sick wearing it. Every time I wear it, I would get sick. It was just really weird. But I kind of stopped using it, days after I bought it. Meta, led by Mark Zuckerberg, is making a big push into the metaverse, and it may be the future, but right now I don't see it as something sustainable until it gets much better. Now, with that being said, Meta is launching a new store that's dedicated to virtual reality. The Meta store, set to open in May 9th, will be located on Facebook's Burlingame, California campus. So basically, it's an open store inside its own headquarters. Okay, whatever. It's silly, right? It'll be a store that has demo areas where people could try, among other products, the Oculus virtual reality headsets and the apps and games that run on them. So if you want to try the store, if you want to try the VR, or try the metaverse, you can fly to California, you can put on the Oculus, you can get into Facebook's headquarters, probably have to go through massive security to get there, and then, of course, put on the Oculus and see if you like it. I don't know, I gotta tell you, the concept's kind of weird to me. Did you ever watch the Twilight Zone episode called To Serve Man? In this episode, an alien ship lands on Earth, makes friends with the inhabitants of Earth, and then offers to take people into space. The people who went into the new planet always decided to not return because they said the planet was so great and so beautiful, they had no desire to return to Earth. Well, it turned out that they didn't return to Earth because they were food for the aliens. This is basically what I thought about when I found out that the VR store was opening in the campus of Meta headquarters. It makes me think that you go into the VR store, put on the Oculus, go into the metaverse, and part of your brain is left there to feed the metaverse. I don't know, maybe it feeds information, or maybe like the movie The Matrix, it feeds its energy to run the metaverse. All I know is every science fiction movie I've ever seen is coming to life. I'm actually wondering if I'm Neo. That's great. This is the first time I saw that picture. You guys can't see it if you're listening on the radio, but that was great. Thank you, Mike. That was beautiful. All right. Well, anyway, VR stores may be popping up soon near you. I would make sure you wear a tinfoil hat before you go, but if you're lucky, you won't be allowed into the metaverse with your vaccine, so the few pure bloods will still be human. As for Meta stock, the company has earnings report tomorrow night, and it will be a scary one. I believe both the censorship and the $10 billion investment into the metaverse are going to hurt Meta stock. All right, before we go to a commercial, I want to talk real quick about a Twitter stock play. I've been getting a bunch of IMs into, on my Facebook feed, and people are asking me, should they buy Twitter stock? All right, the stock is currently 52, and when Musk buys the company, he's going to buy it for $54.20. So you're going to make a small 4.5% profit on your return if you buy it at 52, and you can take that to the bank. Well, it'll work, but remember that for the most part, the stock is going to max out at 54.2 cents or 52.20 cents, and that means you have to tie up your money until the regulations, filings, and other legal mumbo jumbo goes through. It may not be a well-thought-out play. There are dividend-paying stocks that will give you the same return in the dividend, and you could keep the stock for an upside. So I honestly just don't recommend the play, unless for some strange reason it falls back into the 40s, but obviously that's not going to happen. All right, let's take a break here. We'll see you guys in a minute.
Investor schooling. Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling? Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling?
Those guys are everywhere.
Investor Schooling. Those guys are everywhere. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hey, I want to thank all my listeners on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. And if you're watching online, please hit that share button so you can help your friends learn how to make more money. Hit that like button and let me know you enjoy the show. And of course, you can also leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and I'll try to respond to them. And of course, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, go find the Money Chat Now fan page on Facebook and play back the video portion where I speak about Neo, and Mike, my producer, put up the greatest picture. It was just fantastic. I loved it. All right, real quick, I want to say hello to a couple of people online. It looks like Adam joined us. Thank you, Adam. I totally appreciate you watching. Awesome. All right. So far, of course, we've been discussing the futures. Right now, the Dow is down 163, the S&P is down 18, and the NASDAQ is down 64. And of course, we have some other things going on. We talked about the fact that, what else? We talked about the fact that Facebook is opening their thing. And then we got today's picks and plays. But did you guys hit that like button? Did you guys hit that share button? Don't forget to leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure and set a preset to the station and listen every day at 7:30. And also look up Money Chat Now on Facebook when you get home and let me know what you think. Hey, once again, before we start the second half, we all know a new financial situation is coming. Look, is it going to be a recession? Is it going to be a simple downturn? Are you going to know how to take advantage of it? Well, if you want to survive through it, you should order my new book. Go to barnesandnoble.com and look up Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. Pre-order it, and I promise you're going to learn something when it comes. Look, there are chapters in this book about how to make more money, chapters about how to pay less taxes. And I got to tell you, last week I made about $100,000 for the month, and I'm never going to pay taxes on that money. I mean, never. Hey, look, learn from me as I teach you how to do it, and I teach you so many other money hacks. Okay, let's get into the second half. Let's see what's going on. Let's talk about Bitcoin, putting Bitcoin in your 401k. Hey, has anybody out there heard of Bitcoin yet? Hey, do you know what Bitcoin is? All right, all right. I know you have, and most of you listening have no idea what it is, how to buy it, how to invest with it, or even use it. Somehow this currency has turned into an investment. People with no desire to have ever bought foreign currency like the yen, the franc, or even the ruble are now taking a risk and buying Bitcoin with no knowledge of it whatsoever. Look, I have taught the 50-foot overview of Bitcoin in my classes, but still this concept of investing in this asset absolutely baffles me. Well, now you can roll the dice in this investment by risking actually your 401k funds as well. Fidelity Group, wanting to capitalize on the popularity of crypto and Bitcoin market, has decided to allow companies to invest in Bitcoin with their 401k money. Now, I have to say this is extremely dangerous, but then again, my 401k plan allows me to invest in stock options, so who am I to judge? In my plan, I could actually lose all my investments in a single day. Well, actually, the way I teach options is not a likely scenario, but it is possible. You also have to understand that most of my personal assets are real estate, and I'm not counting on my 401k to retire. For many workers who have basically two investments in their entire life, one is their house and the other one is a 401k, this idea of buying Bitcoin in your 401k is extremely dangerous. For most people contributing to their 401k, they actually should pick a moderate risk fund and let that money build. And also don't forget to roll over your 401k soon after you leave your company. My suggestion is a self-directed IRA that will allow you to buy real estate. And these are awesome concepts, of course, that we teach that will change your financial situation. And of course, we teach it every day in investor schooling. And it'll also help you retire with everything you need. So you need to do this. This is very, very important. All right, let's talk about the electric Corvette. Yesterday, I mentioned that the idiots in California were banning gas-powered lawn equipment by 2024. And we know they're banning gas-powered cars by 2030. Well, there goes the iconic great cars of the past and the future. I've always been a Corvette fan. I've owned a couple of them, and my favorite years are the real old ones. I've had a few ones that are great, and they're always fun. They're fast to drive, they're fun to drive, they look cool, people turn their heads. Well, I got to tell you that the new C8 model of the Corvette is gorgeous, and it changed the iconic car forever by mounting the engine in the middle behind the driver. It's a mid-engine car now. It was never a mid-engine car. The car is not only fabulous looking, but it's fast. Well, of course, the next move for Chevrolet is to change it again, and this time it will be electric. Imagine an electric Corvette. Look, I don't know if you like it or don't like it, but what I do know is that it used to be that the one who had the fastest engine, the biggest engine, and the most horsepower, it used to be fun, right? We used to have Ford comparing the Mustang to the Vet and vice versa. The muscle car age has turned into who has the most gadgets in the car. My car has lane this and that, but lane adjustment, and it doesn't hit people when I accidentally drive in front of them. Whatever, right? Well, an electric car, like all the others, there isn't much more to improve on the motor. That's right, motor, because an engine runs on gasoline and a motor runs on batteries. So the motors in these cars are all becoming the same thing. The good news is they're all super fast, and the bad news is that they're all the same. You know, I guess I'm kind of getting nostalgic, but I miss the days of opening the hood of my car and seeing the engine vibrating to the sounds of, spark plugs firing the pistons down. I miss the smell of fuel mixture being off, when you had the fuel mixture off and the carburetor was off and it caused the engine to burn, not to burn all the fuel, and it had that awesome smell, right? I miss the sight of blue smoke out of the tailpipe when the car was burning oil. And I will definitely miss pulling up to a light next to another muscle car and revving the engine in a wanna race way. Could you imagine doing that now? You step on the gas and it goes hum, 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 hum. You have to hit the horn to get their attention. The good old days when cars had muscle, and so did I. All right, let's talk about something else. Do you guys know what Paxlovid is? Well, apparently, my spell checker doesn't even know either. And no, it's not that guy who owned dogs that salivated when the bell rang. Paxlovid is the COVID cure pill. This is the pill form treatment that was named the game changer in the battle for COVID. Oh, by the way, the best game changer for the battle in COVID is to vote Republican in the next election. That'll stop COVID in its tracks right away. Anyway, Paxlovid was approved after it reduced hospitalizations or deaths in high-risk patients by around 90% in clinical trials. So how come you don't know about it? Or even better, why do we need vaccines and masks and all the crap we were led to believe that would fight this cold when we have Paxlovid? Well, apparently it isn't being widely distributed. First of all, you have to find somebody who distributed it, then you have to be eligible to receive the treatment. By the way, guess what the first qualification is to receive the treatment? You must test positive for COVID. Like, duh. This seems to be the big bottleneck, though. It used to be that if you woke up, sneezed, or coughed, you ran to the doctor to get a test because the fear-mongering media told you so. Well, now most of us have accepted that COVID is a minor inconvenience, and some of us have never even been tested for it. And by the way, of course, still the best way to never get COVID is just never get tested for it, and that's why I've never gotten COVID. Well, this new drug that the government spent $20 million on providing to the public at a cost of $600 a dose is just sitting on the shelves. Now the government wants to make testing for COVID in a pharmacy available, and if you test positive, you can get the pills. You win a prize. Positive, you win a prize. Positive, you win a prize. Brilliant. I mean brilliant. Do you remember how the hospitals were being paid about $30,000 to kill people? Put people on respirators if they came in with a cough or sneezed? Oh, I did a whole report on that. You should go to my website and take a look at it, LarrySteinhouse.com, and take a look at that one. Well, now we have pharmacies that will be testing people with all positive results. Of course, right? Oh, listen, you're almost positive. You're sort of positive. You might be positive. And they're going to make their cool profit on this $600 pill. I do have to say that COVID was either capitalism at its finest or darkest hour. I'm not sure, but let's take a break. I'll talk to you guys in a minute. Hi, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and I'm a financial literacy expert. Yeah, I know, you've heard that a lot. That a lot of people out there call themselves financial literacy experts, but I promise you that in my new book, Money Hacks, this book is also subtitled, by the way, because everything you think you know about money is wrong. But I promise you, in this book, you're going to learn things that you never knew about money, and it's going to help you make more money and pay less taxes. I'm actually going to have a book signing and a dinner to celebrate my new book. That's going to be at the Sheraton in Oxford Valley on June 1st at 6 o'clock. And I'm going to sign this book for you right now. And you are going to be able to get this signed copy when you come. I hope to see you then. All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And by the way, I'm really hoping you can make the book launch on June 1st. And in order to go there, just go to moneyhacksbook.com, moneyhacksbook.com, and you can register right now for $27. It even includes a great catered meal. And of course, the jacket I'll be wearing is even going to match the book. So go to moneyhacksbook.com, moneyhacksbook.com to sign up. All right, so far, of course, we've been discussing the futures update. Right now, the Dow is up about 130 points. We talked about the fact that the metaverse is going to suck up your brain if you go and put the VR headset on at Facebook headquarters. We talked about Apple iPhone sales. And, of course, we talked about the electric Corvette. So let's get into some other cool stuff right now. But real quick, let me just talk about the futures right now. So the futures are down 129. The Dow is down 129. The S&P is down 13. And the NASDAQ is down about 50. All right, of course, coming up, we also have today's picks and plays. But did you guys hit that like button yet? Did you guys hit that share button? Let everyone know what great stocks are coming by sharing this information. And I got some good stuff for you. You can share it in your page or share it in groups. Hit that share button and go ahead and do that. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about the politics behind the stock market. All right, let's talk about what's happening. So people are asking me, they're actually coming up to me and saying, how did you know what the market was going to do the last few days? And I'm telling you, I picked it dead on. I picked exactly what was going to happen. I picked the plays. I picked it exact. Well, it's all about steak and tuna theory, and it's a theory we teach in investor schooling. I'm going to tell you right now, come see us on Thursday, and I'm going to teach it steak and tuna theory or mention it to you. And I'm going to tell you, this is absolutely works. It's so true. The steak and tuna theory is a theory I came up with a few years ago, and it absolutely works, and that's how I've been able to predict the market. As for today, I'm going to tell you, expect calmness and confusion. Remember, it's all about the next 3 days of earnings. Wall Street will be on the edge of their seats, and then if it goes bad, they may be on the edge of a cliff. Honestly, all 3 of the next days of their bad earning reports, we're going to see a small crash. It might even be 1,500 points down in the Dow. On the other hand, if the earnings are good, we're going to definitely see the market move down, but just slower. By the way, I'm back on the travel stocks as plays. I like AAL again, CCL, Uber, or Lyft, but wait for them. I'm looking for CCL and AAL to drop about 5% before I'm a buyer. The bank stocks are slowly moving down, and I would expect them to. The fear of foreclosures and less mortgages being initiated are weighing on the sentiment of the banks. Here's what you should buy today. You ready? Nothing. Sit it out. If you're in positions, let them ride, but if you aren't, just sit it out. All right. I also want to mention, speaking of sitting it out, my gorgeous bride and I are going to be going away for the next 2 days, so enjoying a best of tomorrow and Thursday. How fun tomorrow and Thursday on the 2 most critical days of the stock market. But you guys know how to watch earnings reports, so just do it. Our producer has put together some really fun stuff for you, so make sure you tune in the next 2 days and enjoy the best of. All right, let's take a final look at the futures. Right now, the Dow is down 131, the S&P is down 13, and the NASDAQ is down 50. So you can see it's actually probably going to be like this. It's probably going to be anywhere from here to positive the same numbers. It's not going to be much movement today because everybody's going to be waiting for this afternoon and waiting for the first announcement of Google. So on the crypto scene, Bitcoin is hovering about 40,000. The crazy part was Dogecoin or Dogecoin or Dogecoin or coin actually jumped 20% because of Elon Musk's announcement of Twitter because he's a big fan of Dogecoin, whatever it is. All right, so that's why that happened. So surprisingly, gold and silver aren't moving much, and they're still riding just about 1,924 respectively. Of course, as you know, as we come on to the 15th, I'll be buying more silver, so that means that price will go up. Hey, I want to remind you all that we have a best of tomorrow and the next day, and of course, I want you all to have a profitable day.